So some reasons why you're not getting pregnant right now. And there are a few things. So it could be karmic timing for your baby isn't right. So again, we talked about before of like everything works out for your highest good for your purpose of your life. Same with your baby. It might not be the time for your baby to come in. They might have a very specific purpose. And they might, when and I we didn't get into talking about spirit babies today, but this is actually a part of it, and I will do another masterclass on this. But when you start learning and working with the energies of your baby, some are very sweet, some are very open and don't really care as much. Others are very strict. They have very, strict timelines that they need to meet, or they're very stubborn. They're just like real babies, like real little toddlers in life. You are working with an entity that's outside of yourself. So this baby that you're trying to bring in does have its own soul, it has its own, karmic like karmic relationships it's working with, its purpose it's working with, its life purpose, all of that good stuff. So it's kind of one of those things where you just have to honor and again trust. And maybe the timing isn't right for you. So, or your partner. I've talked about this too. It's doing that scan. And what is your body telling you? Like, what's off? Is there something in your finances you need to fix? Is there something in your marriage you need to fix? Is it, something is there some sort of PTSD like what I had? Or is there a lot of sadness and holding on to past traumas like miscarriages or anything else? So, really going through and figuring out what does need to be cleared and what your lesson is. Um, and then again, you don't have the space, so it's clearing out the weeds like we talked about, or maybe it's a time thing with your work, and then your energy isn't crystal clear. So that could look like I really want a baby, but I'm nervous to have a baby, or I really want a baby and get pregnant, but the actual act of birth scares me. Those are all things that you need to work through, and some things why your pregnancy isn't happening right now. So that's just one thing to be aware of. And I really liked learning about the karmic timing for myself because, again, that really helped me with the trust aspect of it all. So, again, I want to actually let me draw something for you because I want to make sure that what we talked about at first was clear, that the inside mirrors your outside. I'm going to show you how. Okay. So here's you, and here is like the energetic realm, the manifestation, all of the worlds colliding together. So when you feel something in your heart, whether it's negative or positive, it goes up into, this ether right here. And what goes up is coming back to you. So this is like like your heart is like a magnet. And it's attracting, like what we said, anything that you are focused on. So if you're focused on bad stuff is going to come to you. If you're focused on great stuff is going to come to you 90% of the time. So you want to make sure that you're outputting really great vibes. And however, if you do that step without clearing out the weeds like we talked about, it's interesting. So going back to the soil, if you are the soil, your baby's the seed, and you are trying to grow, you're giving it all the nutrients, you're giving it all the sun, but there are too many weeds in there, it's not going to be able to grow. Or let's say like maybe it's a magnet. Like maybe your magnet is incredibly dusty. It hasn't been dusted, and you're still emitting like, great vibes and you're kind of getting some stuff, but no matter what, the frequency is going to be diluted because it's so dirty. And if you just clean it off, you're going to start attracting really quickly and a lot better things. So take a look at it like that, of really making sure that you are emitting great things, but also releasing anything that you need to release and not holding on to anything that is, making you feel blue or down or really upsetting your life. And again, that's not sweeping it under the rug. Means to turn to it, to work on it so you can release it. So overall, what we're doing here, and with this 3-part series, we are shifting our mindset to different possibilities of how we can get what we desire in life and, feeling worthy for that desire. So you want to make sure you're in feminine flow. You are putting out all the desires, but also working on yourself to make sure that you consciously and subconsciously feel worthy and trust the universe. So it's really important. And even with just that awareness, you being here, this awareness, you watching this is already going to start making shifts. The magic is going to happen when you start to practice, when you start to take these steps. Again, it might feel really awkward at first. You might have to really try, but you trying that is also going to help until you get to the point where you're fully embodying it automatically, and that's where the magic happens. And that's the point where I was at when I conceived my baby on the first try after years and years of trying. So it's really important, just all this stuff, to kind of take an overview picture of like what we're actually doing here. Um, yeah, so and it's all about just kind of, stopping and appreciating where you are right now, having gratitude, walking with gratitude, and you can be sad that you're not pregnant yet. That is totally fine. You can be sad that you're not pregnant. You can also be sad that maybe somebody else in your life is pregnant and you're not, but you can still walk with gratitude. Those aren't two separate things. You can walk with them together. So don't feel bad if, your sister becomes pregnant and you're like, well, shit, that sucks. You can still be grateful for the life that you have now, for something in your life. And you can feel grateful for the fact that, oh my gosh, there's so much pregnancy in my life. Like, the next person is me. That is actually a law that we talked about before. So if you are seeing, a lot of pregnant people around, again, you're starting to pull in those desires and you're getting closer to the manifestation. So it's actually a really good sign. So just little shifts of your mindset like that are huge. I can't say that enough. I know I've said that so many times, but there's been obstacles placed in your life and it sucks. And I've been there, and it's really important to honor that, to be sad when you're sad, to be pissed if you need to get pissed, but also still work on creating that space that is going to be best for your highest good, for your best life. And that's going to be, you're creating an environment internally in your body and externally where you feel really good bringing a baby into, and your baby wants to be a part of that. Once you create that, that's like the magnetizing effect that your baby is going to come to you. So yeah, know and just kind of understand what makes you feel good and feel better, and do a lot of that. Again, you could go from bad to good. That's a great step. Or you can go from good to great. So it's going along those little obstacles. You don't have to go from bad to great all of a sudden. You probably can't do that. Nobody can. But just taking your days one day at a time of, how can I make today better than yesterday? And just showing up in that energy of like, today is going to be better than yesterday. That's technically how you should be stating that and phrasing that and embodying that. But again, wake up every morning and really do your scan of anything that you need to release, as well as really declare what you want in your life and how you're going to show up for the day, and feel into that energy, feel into that pregnancy energy, feel into that joy, feel into that fun and lightheartedness, and really try to find those little parts of your day that can spark that in you. And if you keep doing that, you are going to have so much success, and you will show up in a different way, as a human and as in your life in general. And that's really going to be the big game changer for anything and everything in manifesting a baby. So you guys,